Yes.
Awesome. Beautiful name.
Thank you.
Right, and thank you for having me.
Thank you
a privilege. It's a privilege. I actually didn't know you jumped on the call.
I did. I jumped on the call that day.
I didn't know.
Everyone says, Shadi, you have to listen. You have to hear this. You have.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me. And shout out to Ebu Babajide. She's been a friend, and what can I say about her? When you have someone who is in your line of business, but who appreciates what you do so much, and she talks about it freely, it just shows you the gift that she is, and the mind that she has. God bless you, Bua. Thank you. And I also believe that is the mind that everybody at Kickassmums has. And
thank you, Yomi. Thank you for coming.
You're welcome. Thank you. Now, ma'am, I'm seeing a man's name on your.
Oh yeah, so it's my brother's Zoom. My name is Shade. Let me edit it so that you'll be seeing my own name.
Okay.
That's my brother's name.
She said it's a group for women, and then the first one I saw when I came in was Adeleke, and I'm like, wow.
That's my brother.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for creating this group and championing what you're doing.
Thank you.
Ibu has told me some stuff about what you're doing, and I can only say God bless you. I can only say God bless you. And whatever it is that you're doing, there is something I want you to understand. When you develop, inspire, elevate somebody else, right? You have triggered something in the universe that you yourself do not understand the magnitude of the resultant effect back to you. And for everybody you're bringing into their purpose, for everybody you are elevating their sense of self to fulfill that which God has called them to, there is a big reward ahead of you, right? That will manifest not when you get to heaven, but here. And the beauty is that it's not just you that would enjoy it. Your children's children would also enjoy it. Right? Because there is nobody that soars into the universe. There's nobody that soars into the lives that God has created that is not rewarded. Because every time you do something for a human being, you're doing it for God, because God resides in every human being, born again or not born again. Right? So well done for what you're doing, man. Well done. God bless you.
Thank you.
God bless you. God bless you. I want to also greet everyone in the house now, and everyone who will join. Arenike, what a name. What a name. Arenike. Good evening. Oluwakemi. Good evening. Bukayo Ibukun. Folake. Good evening. I'm privileged to be an acquaintance of yours for the next 90 minutes or thereabout. And my prayer is that when we are done, we would all have been able to inch further in our destinies, and we would be able to use the things I will share to propel ourselves further into our purpose. I am very particular about purpose. I am very particular about destiny. I'm very particular about human beings, right? Fulfilling that which God has scripted for each and every one of them. I am a staunch believer, right, that there is a need for every man on the world presently. We are not mistakes. No matter what the stories we've been told, right? Oh, your parents didn't want to have a child again, but then somehow you came forth, right? It doesn't matter. But before God brought you forth, there was a reason why he brought you forth. You could be the Samuel in this generation. You could be the David in this generation. And I am not a pastor in the context of having a church, but I'm a born again believer. I believe in Christ. I believe in God. I believe in the Holy Spirit. And everything I do, I channel through my understanding of who they are. Right? I am a life coach by profession, but I have this covenant with my God, right? That the same way human beings, or the same way people are beginning to appreciate the beauty of Eastern religion, appreciate monkhood, appreciate serenity, meditation in that context, I want to also bring that to Christianity, because this is an art, a science, and a practice that we've lost in Christianity. And when we look through the scriptures, you will discover that this was a practice that were at the forefront of what the ancients in the Bible did. Abraham meditated. Isaac meditated. When you look through the Psalms, you will see David talk about meditation time and time again. Solomon did it. Jesus meditated. The apostles meditated. So what happened to us? Why are we not meditating? Why are we not meditating? So when I spoke with Ebu, and Ebu said, Yomi, we do this, but I just wanted to bring a dimension of where this links up with the spiritual realm, right? I really appreciated that, because I was a banker, right? Worked in one of the best banks in Nigeria for a decade. But even though I was financially okay, I was never satisfied within me, because I knew there was something I was missing out on. And then when I left the bank for 4 good years, I didn't have a job. I didn't have anything I was doing. And all I kept asking God was, I don't want to take up another offer, because I had offers from other banks, but I didn't want to take another offer. I just wanted to do what you wanted me to do. And that was growing men, raising men. And it brought me into what I'm doing now. And something happened to me last year. So I've been coaching since COVID period, learned from one of the best in Africa, Larry Olushola. Right? And presently I'm doing my European coaching certification with one of the best coaching academies in the UK, the coaching academy. But sometimes last year, July, I was planning, it was like 2 weeks to my birthday. Then the Holy Spirit said to me, get off social media and come tabernacle with me. 2 weeks to my birthday, so I felt it was going to be just 2 weeks. 2 weeks I was off social media, because for my training, social media is my office, right? That is where people see me. That is my platform, right? That is where people know me. But then he's saying, come out of it and just tabernacle with me. And then 2 weeks went by, a month, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, and I'm like, God, what is happening? When am I going back to social media? I never answered. But then something happened. I realized that what it was teaching me, right, were the things I'm going to be sharing with you now, the realities of the spirit realm, and how we can leverage on the realities, the power, the sufficiency in the spirit realm, right, to change the realities in our own physical world. So since July last year, he has been teaching me all that. And you would think that the only thing he would hand over to me would be a Bible, but no. The kind of materials that I have gone through in the past 8 months, thereabout, if you were to tell some Christians, they will say, you're no longer born again, right? But I have come to the understanding that there are times when God wants to pass some things on to Christians. And because Christians are not ready to accept it yet, he allows unbelievers access it. And when they begin to enjoy what he has given to them, it turns us into jealousy. And then we begin to wonder, why this? And they will, at the end of the day, go to learn from them what he first gave to us. So meditation is actually for us Christians, but because we really didn't pay attention to it, other people got in touch with it, and they are making profound use of it. Profound use. But there is something about meditation that we still do not lay hold on. So many, like Ebola told me, many of us here meditate. But then if I were to ask you, why do you meditate? So in the chat room, just maybe a one-line statement. Why do you meditate? What inspires you to meditate? What do you expect from meditation? Right? What do you expect from meditation? So when you the Bible said to connect with God and to calm my mind also. And when I need direction, to be on channels, to be opened.
He of course was love. The Bible says in John 3, verse 16, he so loved the world, and he gave his.
Now, when you say to be open,
Okay, I think he has had some network difficulty. So he'll be back. But while he was talking, some people just jumped on. I know that Fumi is here briefly. She'll have to run off soon for another meeting at 9. Hi, everyone. Hi, everyone. Okay. Yeah. So while we wait for him, let me just do a recap. So he was saying this, the importance of meditation and how, so he listed different people in the Bible who meditated. And he's like, he wonders why it was never like on the front burner for us in the Christian religion. We never, because I always tell people that nobody ever sat down to teach me and say, oh, you have to meditate. This is how to meditate. This is why you should meditate. And it is so very important. And I'm trying to look for Ibuku's notes because Ibuku was jotting. First of all, he said, we are not mistakes. There's a reason God brought all of us to this world. And there's something he also mentioned about connecting with the God in everybody, that there's God in everyone, whether Christian or not. And I've even heard that thing before, that when you speak to people, you speak to that God man in them. And that's what responds to you. It's that spirit that you speak to in them that responds to you. So it says we're not mistakes. There's a reason God brought all of us forth. Yeah, so these are the examples. David meditated, Solomon meditated, Jesus and other people in the Bible meditated. So should we. I won't lie, me, I even really wanted this because I need to revive my meditation practice has not been since I got a hang of, but this year, since we entered this year, I've not really been devoted to the meditation practice. And I'm hoping that this next 21-day challenge we are going into, I can rekindle the fire and pick it up again. Because forget it, it's everything. It's everything. When you want, the few times I have been able to meditate seriously, I get results. Yes, as Folake says, it says, Christ, the God in me, the hope of glory. We get results. Like sometimes, let me give an example. One time when I was meditating, God told me, I just heard it clearly. This is what you need to do. It has happened a couple of times like that. So imagine if we now make it a part of us, and we are always doing it. We will not have any reason to run around. There's one video that went viral. I think it was Fumi that shared it on the group, that this pastor was preaching and she was saying that this time that everybody is jackpine, things are happening in Nigeria. This is not the time for us to be running helter-skelter. That this is the time to move with direction. Okay, Mr. Yomi is back. We need direction more than anything. So before you take any step, before you do anything, you have to have direction. Welcome back, sir.
I'm so sorry about that. My network just
No, we understand. We
went
understand.
off. I'm so sorry, please.
No problem. No
I'm
problem.
so sorry. Awesome. So we're talking about why each of us meditates, right?
Yes.
And I saw things like to calm my spirit, clarity, direction, and everything. And that is beautiful. That is beautiful. But what if you're missing out on something huge? Yes, you seek clarity, you seek direction. But what if you're missing out on something really, really huge? What if meditation is beyond seeking direction? Direction is beautiful. But how beautiful is that direction when the results are not there? So I could know that, yes, I'm meant to be in New York, but then how do I get to New York? Or I'm meant to know that I should build a school, but how then do I build it? Can you hear me? Sophia says she can't hear anything. Is it just Sophia? Is it?
I can hear you.
I can
I can hear you.
Okay, so Sophia, please
Okay,
maybe
so
check your.
Amina, maybe you should go off and come back on. Let me type so that she would.
Okay. Awesome. So most of us are in a way meditating. In fact, there is nobody on earth that doesn't meditate, right? Either in the positive way or the negative. And when I say negative way, I'm not saying maybe occultic stuff. I'm talking about focusing on the things you don't want, because meditation itself is really focused attention, right? Undivided attention on something, right? But what if what you're getting from that meditation is 10% of what meditation should deliver to you? What if what you're getting from meditation is just 5%, right, of what meditation should deliver to you? What if what you're just getting from meditation is just the crumbs? You're not getting the real loaf that meditation, right, is aimed or was prepared or was cultured to give to you. And that's what I'm going to be looking at this evening by God's grace. But there is no way we would get into the depth of what meditation is and what meditation can offer us if we don't actually look at the pattern for which life creates itself, or for which life is created, or for which we can create life. Now, I understand that every one of us here have desires. We have goals. We have things we want to birth upon the earth. We have things we want the world to know us for or know us by. But then, how do you get to produce them? Where do you find the methodology, the process by which you can actually turn your desire into manifestation? It's a creation, right? And for every creation, there is a pattern, because things don't just happen. There is a pattern. Everything was produced or birthed by something, even the earth we are in. And if we're going to learn the system of creation, what we need to first learn is how was this earth wherein we are was created. Now, if we are able to understand the system and the pattern of earth's creation, we can replicate it in our own individual lives to create whatever it is that we want created in our lives. So that promotion you want, you can create it. That family you want, you can create it. The job you want, you can create it. The house you want to build, you can create it, right? The credentials you want, right, in your career, you can create it. The behavior you want for yourself, you used to be a hot-tempered person, but you want people to know you as being calm. You can create it. You can create anything if you can understand the pattern Earth, where we live in, was created. And how was Earth created? We need to understand from where Earth came from. So the Earth itself was birthed by something. And you never can talk about transformations and manifestations if you do not understand how this earth was created. Because it's all about patterns. It's all about patterns. I stay in the UK, and one of the first things that shocked me when I relocated was the fact that I was seeing the people I know in Nigeria, in the UK, albeit they were not dark, they were light colored. The skin was different. And I'm like, what is happening? So I was just somebody that I felt, I've seen this person before. But when I saw this person was dark colored. But now this person is light colored. What is happening? And it kept repeating itself. And one day I started to think about it. And it dawned on me, really. What is happening is this. I'm looking at the best way to explain this. So, Mofolushade, there is someone of your stature, your facial configuration, all those stuff in another continent. Right? So what God does, God replicates by pattern. There is somebody like Ebua, right? Maybe in Australia. The only difference is that the person is light-skinned. There is somebody like me in another country. Maybe the person is light-skinned. In fact, there was a day, you know, when a session with my mentor, and then somebody posted a short clip from Instagram or TikTok. There was a guy that did a video on TikTok that looked so much like Larry Lushola, but wasn't Larry Lushola. They were like replicas. In fact, TC was shocked. Was like, wow.
Sorry to cut. I mean, was it yesterday or day before yesterday? Eniola was trending because there was a X-rated video that came out, and it wasn't him, but the person looked exactly, and it was an American porn star, and everybody was so sure it was him. He had to come out and debunk. People didn't believe. The guy now finally did a video saying, "It's not Eniola, it was me."
Wow. Thank you for that. So that corroborates what I was saying. Now, God works with patterns. So when you understand the pattern through which he created the earth, you can model it in your own life. Now, when you look at a mango tree, and this is the law of creation, the mango tree itself produces after its kind. So inside the seed of a mango fruit is the tree for the next mango tree, mango, right? The fish in the waters, they reproduce after themselves. The lion in the jungle will reproduce after itself, right? And in reproducing each of these, either be it an animal, a man, or a fish, or even plants, they will produce creatures, organisms, plants that have the same nature as them, the same characteristics as the parent. And that is the pattern. So every new manifestation emerges from an existing reality. Every new manifestation emerges from an existing reality. So if that is true, then the earth itself that we are in right now would have a parent. Something gave birth to this parent, to this earth, right? And if we need to understand that parent, then we can look at the earth. And if we need to understand the earth, we can look at the parent. Why? Because every new manifestation comes out of an existing reality. So what birthed the earth? In doing, you have to go to the scriptures, right? The Bible says the things that we see were made out of the things we do not see. Isn't that profound? The things that we see were made out of the things we do not see. And then we have another scripture that says, as it is in heaven, so is it upon the earth. What does that mean? As it is in heaven, so it is upon the earth. Now, there is something called the law of precedence. The law of precedence says the first is mentioned before the latter. And that was why Jesus, when he was talking to the Jews, to the Pharisees, he said, before Abraham was, I am. So I was before him. So every time you look at the scriptures, right? And let me quickly say this. I pay homage and respect to the scriptures, and I take some of the things I say out of it. But I also want you to know that every religion has scriptures. Every religion has scriptures. I have a book called The Wisdom Code, written by a scientist by the name Greg Braden. And in this book, he talked about ancient practices, right? Ancient practices and how ancients used the power of words to create the manifestations they wanted. And in those power of words, what the ancients were doing was they were going into their own scripture. So every ancient civilization had a scripture. Every religion has a scripture, right? From which they bring forth words that they use to change things around them, right? So I just wanted to put that out there. So in the order of precedence, the first is mentioned before the second. Now, every time you look at the Bible, you never find the Bible say the earth and the heavens. The earth and the heavens. The earth, no. You find the heavens and the earth. The heavens and the earth. The heavens and the earth. And then when Paul was declaring in the New Testament, he said that the things we see are made from the things we do not see. Which means that the earth that we see now was made from a world that is real, that is tangible, even though we do not see it. And what happens is that many of us, when we are talking about manifesting and creation, we do not acknowledge that world because we do not see it with our sensory abilities. So to us, it's more like, because I don't see it, it doesn't exist. But we are being told here that what you see today was created out of the things you do not see. So the heavens really is Earth's parent. The heavens is Earth's source. The unseen is the source of the seen. The seen came out of the unseen. So everything you see today was once not seen. The import of this, and I want you to hold on to this, is that you might never be able to create anything relevant in your life if you do not have a contact with that unseen world. You might never be able to create anything relevant in your life. Mark my words. You might never be able to create anything relevant in your life if you do not connect with that unseen world. The unseen world of the heaven realm is filled with realities that is much more advanced than our present reality. Any reality in your life right now, there's an advanced manifestation of it, and it is locked up in the unseen realm. So if you are earning 250,000 a month right now, and you want to be earning 1 million naira a month, right? That reality already exists in the unseen realm. The question is, are you aware of it? This is the question. Are you aware of it? Are you aware that if you're someone who is hot-tempered and you want to be a calm person, or you're somebody who is not generous and you want to be generous, right? You're somebody who is never patient and you want to be patient, do you know that that reality that you want to have already exists in the unseen realm? But until you connect with the unseen realm, you will never find that reality manifest in your life. And scientists know this. So it's beyond religion. Scientists know this. In 1825, I'm going to use a story. Michael Faraday, right, discovered a chemical compound called benzene, right? And benzene in that age, at that time, was a deal breaker. It was one of the very few chemical compounds whose use at that time cut across various industries, and it was a money spinner. But even though they were getting so much from benzene, there was a limitation with benzene. And what was the limitation? Nobody was able to discover or describe its molecular structure. And because they could not know, or they could not predict, or they could not lay hold of the molecular structure, there was a limitation to what they could use benzene for. So they were enjoying just a little bit of what benzene could offer. Why? Because they did not know the molecular structure. This was 1825. 30 years after benzene's discovery, nobody, not even Faraday who discovered it, had found the molecular structure. So a lot of scientists began to work on it. And then there was a system, right, that they began to discover. Somebody will come up with the molecular structure. Now, there was a process through which any discovery must go through before it is validated as a molecular structure, right? So every scientist that comes up with the molecular structure, they will run it through the process, it would fail. They will run it through the process, it would fail. They will run it through the process, it would fail. Then, one day, somewhere, I think around August 1855, one of the scientists working on that research fell asleep. And watch this. He fell asleep, right? Now, because he had been working on that study for a long time, apparently his soul had become, heavy with that search, such that he had a dream. The burden he laid on his soul pressed his soul, right, to get into the spirit realm. And from the spirit realm, they showed this guy a flash. And what did they show him? They showed him 6 monkeys joining their tails together in an hexagonal pattern, and then moving round and round and round like that. And then the guy woke up. Now, the moment the guy woke up, he instinctively knew that that was benzene's molecular structure. Instinctively, he just knew. Now, this image that he saw, he quickly drew it, right? Then tabled it before his fellow scientists. As at that time, the image he saw and he drew did not conform to the scientific standards of how a molecular structure should be. But guess what? They passed this through the same process. Boom, it passed. C6H6. 2 carbon atoms double bonding themselves, right? Double bond, single bond, double bond, single bond. That was the first time they would have double bond, single bond as a molecular structure. Why? Because someone pressed into the spirit realm. The name was August Kekule. That discovery made him, as at that time, one of the most prominent scientists of his days. He became a global attention. It tapped into the spirit realm. So it is not just about having clarity on what you want to do, but it's about being able to download the steps you would take. It is about being able to download the resources you would need. It is about being able to download the ideas. It is about being able to download the people that should come on board with you. Oh my God, how do I say this? Do you guys know? The company, and if I ask now, almost every one of us might have this brand in their house, Nike. Nike. Do you know Nike is a product of a spiritual download? Ah, yeah. Nike is a product of, in fact, the name Nike, right, was gotten by Phil Knight in the temple of Athena, a Greek goddess. The process of building Nike was at a time when Phil Knight was deep in Zen Buddhism and meditation. So guys, the fact that you can think of a different possibility to your present reality, or that you can think of a higher life compared to what you presently experience, is a valid testimony that there is a spirit realm. And every time you are impressed with higher thoughts, it tells you the spirit realm is up to something with you. And I'm going to repeat that again. There are times you have thoughts and you don't know where they came from. There are times you are in the middle of issues that could take your life, right? But then a thought springs up in your mind. And that thought is opposite of what you are going through. For instance, you can't feed your family, right? In the middle of that burden, a thought comes to you that, do you know that one day you'll be feeding nations? And you're like, eh, what? Do you know one day you would have a foundation where you'll be paying tuition fees of children that are not even related to you blood-wise? Excuse me, you can't feed your family, but then you're having this kind of thoughts. Now, when that happens to you, it tells you the spirit realm is up to something with you. Now, but when we have those kind of thoughts, you know what most of us do? We estimate that thought based on our present reality. We estimate that thought based on the world we know. We estimate that thought based on the world we can touch, we can sense, based on this physical world we relate with. Now, once we have those thoughts and it does not conform to our present situation, we discard them. We do not understand that when those thoughts come, the spirit realm is about to pay us a visit. So most of us will lose that visitation. Most of us will lose that which God has prepared to bring us into. Why? Because we give so much acknowledgement to what we see that we lose sight to the truth that what we see today was battered by what we do not see. So what we would have to see in our life tomorrow must be battered by what we decide to peer into today. Everything on earth, including challenge, is temporal. It has an expiry date, and that expiry date is determined largely by you. There is a world that is overflowing with solutions, a world that terminates all problems, but not all eyes look into that world for a solution. What we keep looking at is this world. Ladies, there is a solution if you know where to look for. There is always a solution if you know where to look. The spiritual realm controls the physical realm. Where did the idea of benzene come from? The spirit realm. And science has come to accept this truth, though they don't call it the spirit realm, though they don't call it the heavens. Do you know what they call it? Energy. Universe. So if you have been in the school of manifestation and you have been listening to teachers of manifestation, you can't but you can't but be acquainted with those words, the universe and energy. And when you study what they are saying, they are talking about unseen realm. It is so, this realm is so profound that science itself has dedicated a field to it called quantum physics. So the field of quantum physics is the field that studies the unseen realm. The unseen realm. Ladies and ladies, we can no longer become babies at dealing with the unseen realm. We can no longer fail to acknowledge the unseen realm. We can no longer become blind to the realities of the unseen realm. Because there are two key elements in this unseen realm that is very important in the school of manifestation, in the school of turning your desires to reality. One of them is the truth that nothing is empty. All space is filled with energy, even if you can't see it. That was a scientific provision. Nothing is empty. All space is filled with energy, even if you cannot see it. So the fact that you're not seeing something doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. Now, I'm going to ask you a question. How many of you are living in the houses you built? Is anybody in this room that is living in the house they built?
Me.
Ebua, awesome. So Ebua, we're going to have a quick discussion now. What year did you build that house? Hello, Ebua. Let's have a quick chat. Ebua, are you there?
I'm here, sorry. I think it was 2010 or 2009.
2009, right?
Mm.
When,
Yes,
when did you buy the
2010.
land?
What? OPIC. Is it when
did you buy the land? When did you buy the land?
I think that when I just had my first son. So that should have been 2005 or 2007.
Okay.
2007,
So you
yes.
bought the land 2007. You built it in 2009, right? A 2-year gap. Now, what was on the land when you built it? When you bought it?
It was grass and water.
I didn't hear you.
Grass and water.
Okay.
Water.
Everybody journey with me, please. Everybody journey with me. So imagine that we all have known Ebua in 2007. And then Ebua told us, I want to go and check this land at OPIC. They told me that there are lands in OPIC, right? And then, you know, development is moving towards OPIC. So it's better I buy land. And then all of us, being our friends, we journeyed with her to OPIC to go and look at the land. And all we see is what? Grass. We see grass. We see grass. We see grass. And then she buys the land. Now, in 2007, if somebody had come to you and have described the house you are living in now, Ebua, the house you built, and told, no, in 2006, if somebody had come to you in 2006, taking you to that land and said to you, Ebua, can you see this 2-story building on this land? It has 4 bedrooms, 3 toilets. What would they have said to the person?
Oh, I think he's mad.
I didn't hear you.
I would think he's mad.
Fast forward to 2010. Is that house there or not?
Is there?
So the fact that you went to the land in 2007 and it was vacant did not mean that there was no house there. It took the seeing eyes to see. Hello.
Hi.
Hey. It took the seeing eyes. So, excuse me, the things you think are not possible in your life, who told you they are not possible? The things you have written yourself out from, who told you? The fact that you are not seeing it does not mean it is not there. You only need to change the way you see. You only need to change how you see. You only need to change what you see. Does that make sense, guys? So that's the first element. Nothing is empty. All space is filled with energy, even if you can't see. That is why, guys, it is, I would say it is a curse. And it is one of the greatest limitations you could ever walk in when all you do is to walk with your sights. If all you do is to work with the money in your account, if all you do is to relate with your children as they are right now, you are of all men most miserable. Because there's a reality in that situation that if you are able to tap into it, it will swallow up the current reality you have. In fact, one of the things that happen in manifestation and reality is that, and I pray I get there tonight, how do I explain this? You embody a reality. And you cause your new reality, your new embodied reality to dominate your present reality. That is how manifestation works. You embody a reality, and then you put pressure on that reality such that it overwhelms and it consumes, it swallows up your present reality. Nothing is empty. All space is filled with energy, even if you cannot see it. Number two, all outcomes and multiple existences, they exist in the universe. All outcomes and multiple existences, they exist in the universe. What does that mean? There is a billionaire you existing right now. If you're not yet married, there is a married you existing in the universe. In fact, there is a married you, right, married to an American. There's a married you to a Nigerian. There's a married you to a Cameroonian, right? There is an existence of you who is running a profitable business right now, even though your business might be almost bankrupt, right? But there is, in reality, a business that you are running that is making profits, even in harsh economies. Every existence and every possibilities you can't think of exists already. The question is, are you able to see it? Are you able to pay attention to it? All existing or all possibilities exists. The question is, what are you paying attention to? Because it is what you pay attention to that you cause to drop into your life. It is what you pay attention to that you cause. So when you are in a troubled situation and all your energy is focused on that troubled situation, you keep replicating that troubled situation because you keep recreating it. But if you're in a troubled situation and you realize that there is a you who has grown out of this situation and is enjoying a new reality, and you begin to focus on that reality, what you are doing is you are going to exert pressure on your present reality. by the images you give yourself. And this is the power of meditation. Meditation transforms. Meditation transforms. Meditation transforms. Meditation changes things. Meditation changes things. Why? Because if you can think of a thing, it is because it is already in the universe. It is already in existence. If you can think of a thing, if you can think of a reality for your life, if you can think of anything you want in your life, it is not because you're really thinking of that thing. It is because that thing is already in existence. I'm going to play you a video, a short video, about a 5-minute video, to show you something that most of us are not aware of. When I say all possibilities exist in the universe, right? It means that when you are in a circumstance that you don't like, and you're beginning to think of a desired outcome, right? Really, you did not think of that outcome. That outcome thought of you. Does it make sense? All possibilities exist. There is a you who has been stunted in your career on one position for 5 years. Right? You have been stunted in your career for 5 years. And then you begin to think about having a dynamic promotion wherein within 2 years, all the promotions you missed within 5 years, you get it. You did not think of that thought. There is already a reality that you can see, wherein within 2 years, you got new promotions that made what you missed a child's play. And that reality came looking for you. I'm going to play you a video. This video is by 2 professors, scientists, talking about the power and the emergence of thoughts. Just give me a second. Let me just quickly look for it. Okay, awesome. Please, can you make me maybe a call? What do we always call it? Can I share my screen? No, please, can you make me, what do we call it, a co-host or something so that I can share my screen, please? I'd like you to listen to these 2 professors. One is, I think, is it James Patterson? His name is Patterson something. I can't remember the first name. Then the second one is John Lennox. John Lennox
I
is
want
a
to make
professor.
you, but the only challenge is, I hope I won't lose the recording.
No,
I can't make you a co-host.
shouldn't.
I'm seeing it will make you. I can make you a host.
Oh. No, if you
Okay,
make me a
right.
host,
Is it right to share screen? I can give him that.
Yeah,
okay, beautiful.
Something like that.
Beautiful.
I'm trying to look for it. I can't.
So if you see share screen, there is an arrow on the side. Click on it, then it will show some options.
Oh, okay. Multiple participants can share.
Yes.
Awesome. Oh, thank you. Okay, can you try and let's see.
Okay. Beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. So I want you to please pay close attention to this video, because it's going to change the way you think about things afterwards. Can you all see my screen? Can you see the video before I start playing it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
Okay, let me just see if I can share this sound so that everybody will be able to listen. Awesome. Okay.
You said earlier about revelation. So I've also been, I've been very interested in what would you call it? The anthropological psychology of the development of thought. That's a good way of thinking about it, is that how is it that human beings came to think? Now, Carl Jung said something very interesting about thought, about typical thought, normative thought. And he said the typical person doesn't think. What happens to the typical person is that thoughts appear to them and they accept them as axiomatically true without further investigation. And so, and I believe that to be the case. I think that in order to think critically, you have to set up in the theater of your imagination something that holds a proposition and defends it, and then an adversary or two adversaries that take it apart. And so you're actually producing a collective within that will then hash out the thought. But that's led me down the rabbit hole of trying to understand what we mean when we say something like, I thought, which would be the sort of thing that scientists would say when they're talking about how they do science. Well, I thought up my hypothesis. It's like, that's not much of an explanation there, buddy. Like, what do you mean you thought it up? Because you didn't know the hypothesis, let's say, yesterday, and now you do know it. And so how did you not know it then? And how do you know it now? And how is it that that new idea manifested itself? And the answer is always going to be, well, it came to me. And so that's the crucial thing I want to dive into. So here's how I think the hypothesis generation process works. And scientists very rarely talk about this. They talk about the observable data, but they don't talk about the mechanism by which the investigative question was formulated. And that's a huge lacunae, right? That's a huge domain of unconsciousness. So this is how it seems to me, is that first of all, you have to have a problem. And so that's something that calls to you generally, because people are generally gripped by a problem, right? It isn't that they choose it voluntarily precisely. It comes knocking. They can open the door to it, but it's something that grips them and compels them. And it has a kind of autonomy in that sense. If something really besets you as a problem, you can't shake it. It dogs you. And that seems like a kind of autonomy on the part of the problem. And also, there's a million problems that could beset you, but some stand out against the background, right? I think that's equivalent to the burning bush, by the way. Anyway, so you have a problem, and you're searching humbly for a solution. And humbly, because you have to admit that you have a problem, and you have to admit that you don't know the answer. And then if you open yourself up, whatever the hell that means, you'll get a revelation. And the revelation will be an insight, right? It'll be something that strikes you as probable or likely. And so that's the first element. That's the first two elements of thought. The first element is a felt lack, and that would be an admission of personal insufficiency on some vital front. The next would be the knocking, which is, I would like to know the answer. The next part of the sequence is a revelation, as far as I can tell. And something appears to you, and it springs out of the void for all intents and purposes, and you can say you thought it up. But you're not saying any more than, it appeared to me. There's no more content in those two descriptive, what would you call, approaches. And then once the revelation makes itself manifest, you can analyze it critically, or you can subject it to further empirical analysis and to the criticism of others. And it's that whole panoply of sequenced processes that make up thought. But there's a revelatory element to that seems to me to be irreducible. Now, the question is, from where does the revelation spring?
I would sympathize with that analysis very, very much. I think thought is a little bit like time. As Augustine said, everybody knows what time is until they try to define it. And I certainly think that the idea that it came to me, actually, it cogs in with my own experience of my limited success in mathematical research. It came to me. I think there are other dimensions, of course, as well. You're absolutely right to try to take this question of analyzing hypotheses deeper, because things often play a role that folk wouldn't think about, like dreams, like hunches, like intuition and all this kind of thing. And whether it comes to us swelling up from the unconscious or all this kind of thing, because I wonder, let me step back from this 1 second. I wonder if we have to think in terms of different levels of revelation. For example, if I want to get to know you and you want to get to know me, it's no use me putting you into a tomography machine and looking at your brainwaves. I will never get to know you unless you reveal yourself to me. And usually that will be you speak to me as you are now and I speak to you. That is partly revelation. If you never say anything, I'll never get to know you. Now, those words that you use are coming from inside you, and they have to do with your mind and your brain and all that very sophisticated stuff that we really know very little about because we don't even know what consciousness is. But I wonder if above and beyond that kind of human level of revelation, or what wells up when we've looked at a problem or something else, what wells up in our minds, we have to have a separate category, which I would call divine revelation. Now, whether the two dovetail and flow into one another is an interesting matter, because if you go back to Genesis, one of the most interesting things is we're told we're made in the image of God, but it was God that told human beings to do biology. Name the animals. That's taxonomy. It's the fundamental intellectual discipline. I'm not going to do it for you. You do it for yourself. And so the capacity of human beings to think in that sense, whatever it really means, seems to me to be a reflection of their creator and possibly an...
Did you learn anything from that video? Did you learn anything from that video?
Yes, a lot.
So you think, really? You think you are the one thinking of that promotion? You think you're the one thinking of a better life for yourself? You think you're the one? No. You did not initiate the thoughts. You did not initiate your desires or your dreams. The thoughts you have, the desires you have, the dreams you have were already existing in the spiritual realm. When it was time for them to be manifested here, they looked for you. The desires you have, they are living entities from another realm seeking expression in this realm. Your desires, your burning desires, you can't shake it off. You heard what that guy said. You can't shake it off. Right? Oh God, how do I explain this? These solutions you want.
You speaking to us at this time about this is expression of a burning desire. I think that is like the perfect example I can think of. Because the timing is just perfect. This is what we needed. I don't know if I mean, God. Is anybody else on this same table?
Totally correct. Totally correct. It's our time to start manifesting. We're not
sitting, no, we're not sitting.
Guys, this is the importance of this, right? Many of us don't pursue our dreams because we think we don't have the resource. Oh, what would the person say? Oh, I want to be a public speaker, but I can speak. I don't know how to pronounce. I don't have the fluency. Who says it is fluency you need to be a public speaker? That was what they defined and gave to you now, right? You think you don't have the resource. You think you're not good enough for it. But guess what? These thoughts, who you want to be, already exists in the unseen realm. And because it was time for it to manifest, it looked in the whole universe and says, now it is time for me to come to the earth. Who can host me? Every thought, every desire, every goal is looking for a body host because they cannot translate from the heavenly realm to the physical realm without a bodily host. So they are looking for a bodily host. So the thought in itself, in its realized form, is looking for somebody that can host it. Guess what? Because it is full over there, it's already completed over there. It is coming into your life with all the resources it needs to manifest itself. It doesn't need your resource. It is coming over here with all the resource it needs to manifest itself. It is only doing you a favor by selling itself to you. Remember what that first guy said. If you would open up your mind, you are in a problem. But if you would open up your mind, the spiritual entity completed in the spirit realm will come into you with all the resource you need so that it can manifest itself through you. So you are the one thinking it. They are the ones planting themselves into you. So you are hosting heavenly bodies. It's not only angels that are heavenly bodies. Oh. Thoughts, desires, dreams, they are heavenly bodies. Haven't you heard of the phrase, a vision whose time has come? How do we know the time has come? When it begins to knock on your heart. When you sleep, that is what you're seeing. When you are speaking, that's what you're saying. When you're in the midst of people that you haven't even shared the ideas with, people just keep saying the same thing, and I'm like, I didn't share this with anybody now. It is a dream, a desire whose time has come. At that moment, all you need to do is to begin to focus your attention. That is meditation. Focus your attention on it so that you can begin to download everything, every facet of the embodiment of that goal, the embodiment of that desire, the embodiment of that dream. It chose you. You didn't choose it. It chose you. You did not choose it. It chose you. You did not choose it. I'm going to play you a second video, and this is going to blow your mind. I have all had this thought, right? But while I was listening to Warbeck, Pastor Kojo played a video, and I said, yes, this is it. This was the reason God told me to leave social media, because and let me say this to you guys. When God told me to leave social media, I knew how much I was earning. As at that time, it was difficult for me it was really hard for me to earn in FX. I was in the UK, but I was earning in Naira. But guess what? After I moved, the first thing I noticed, my clients began to achieve results that I could not believe. I'm like, where is this coming from? So the first thing I noticed, my clients began to get international jobs. There was a particular person who got a 6-digit job in the UK. And when she told a Nigerian friend that she was leaving, they said, no, we can't allow you leave. We would accept that you owe the 2 jobs. Right? Oh. So go to the UK. You are there, but work with us remotely. So she left. She's earning both Naira and pounds. And guess what? She is not a director in that company yet. But they gave her a contract saying every quarter we will be paying you this allowance in dollars. That was not part of our initial agreement with them. So my clients began to, rise. And as they rose, people in their community were like, what did you do? What did you do? And then they began, it was when I started coaching, and when they will now bring their friends, even though I'm not on social media, what I'm earning from coaching, even me, I can't believe it. The reality of the spiritual realm. The reality of the spiritual realm. If you will tap into the spiritual realm, nothing will be impossible for you to do. Now, so that you would also understand that when a thought comes to you, when you have a burden, a passion for something, it's not you thinking it, right? I'm going to play this second video for you. Oh, this will blow your mind. If you have not seen it before, it would blow your mind.
Stop being afraid of me financially. Stop being afraid that I'm going to take away everything you have. Stop being afraid of the world financially. Stop being afraid of your reputation financially. Don't be afraid to do what I tell you to do. I've got your best interest at heart, not your worst. The reason I haven't been able to bless my people any more than I have, your words are stout against me. If I tell you to do something, you argue and argue and argue and argue and talk yourself out of it. You say, I can't, I can't, I can't, I can't. I know what you can do and what you can't. I'm no fool, saith the Lord. I know what you can do and what you can't. When I tell you to do something, it's because I'm going to see that you learn to do it, and I'll put you over in it. And many of you are thinking, well, I can't go do things like that. Yes, you can. I've given many of you ideas. I've given you things that look good. I've given you the first step to an invention, and you let it pass away. And by now, well, I'm not mechanically minded. Well, you ought to be spiritually minded. I am the world's greatest mechanic. I developed all mechanics. I developed all metallurgy. I developed all of these things. I know where all the silver and gold is that men don't know anything about. I know where there's enough money that people have lost to put you over. If you'd have the nerve to believe me and listen to me and spend enough time in prayer, that I could get over to you what I want you to go do. I have new ideas that the world has never seen and never known. And I've not done anything in secret. Any man that hath ears to hear. I'll show you ways that will astound the world. I've done it in the past and I'll do it in the future. I want to give you all that I have. Don't you remember in my word, saith the Lord, that I said that when the Spirit of truth is come, he'll take all that's mine and show it unto you. And all that the Father has is mine. And I say again, he'll take what is mine and he'll show it unto you. He's come with an assignment to show you and to teach you and to train you. But if you'll listen to the Spirit of God, I'll take those of you tonight that don't have hardly money enough to get home on. If you'll listen to me and spend time with me and spend quality time with me and listen and listen and listen and listen, you'll begin to know my voice. You'll begin to hear my voice. And many of you will have money enough in 1 year's time to build churches and to raise up great ministries and do it on your own pocketbook. I want my people to be rich. I want my people to be well off in this world. I do not want my people to be cut. I wanted to give one of my people the handheld computer industry. I wanted to give one of my people the microchip. I wanted to give it to some of my people. I held it back. I held it back. I held it back. I held it back until finally in the earth I had to have that technology here in order to cover the earth with my gospel, which will fill the earth with my glory. And so I had to release it into the hands of those that I could get through to. And some were my people and some were not. But most of those that were my people didn't know that it came.
How was that? Did you hear what he said? Did you hear what he said? This tape was in 1984 convention. 1984. That was 40 years ago. That was a prophecy. God speaking through him said, I wanted to give my people the handheld device. Mobile phones. God wanted to push it through his people, but they were saying, no, it's not possible. It's not possible. I'm not intellectually okay with it. I didn't study this in school. I didn't study this. Hello? And then he said, a time came, God himself could not hold it back because he needed it upon the earth. So it tells you one thing. When you have a thought, it is not you thinking it. The thought sorts you out. So what thoughts have you been arguing with yourself over, saying, I can't do it? What dreams, what visions have you been debating yourself out of? Because all what you are focused on is what you have in your account. The skills you presently have. Listen to me. The person who achieves a dream or who receives a dream is not the same person who realizes it. Between the time you accept a dream, a goal, or a vision, and the time you actually manifest it, you would grow. So stop looking at yourself based on who you are now. Because once you accept it, you go into the training ground and you begin to be trained to get to the point where you can manifest. So stop judging yourself based on how the dream met you. You are the best version of yourself at the time the dream met you. So stop talking yourself out of it. Stop talking yourself out of it. Stop talking yourself out of it. Accept those burning desires. The question you should be asking is, what do I need to do to manifest this? When God wants to change your life, he introduces a thought, a dream, a vision, a desire that is outside the scope of your present abilities to achieve. Never judge any dream you have based on your present ability now. Never. 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 Because when you accept the dream, you get onto the threshing floor of training. The dream comes with all the resources. The resources that built mobile technology, where did it come from? Steve Jobs. I'm not sure I can get to it tonight. I know Ebua would have wanted me to get to Steve Jobs, and I really wanted to, but with time. But let me tell you the truth. Steve Jobs had nothing when he had a dream of Apple. The first funds that went into Nike was a loan by Phil Knight's father. But guess what? At every point in his journey, men that needed to partner with him came. Resources he needed came. Every dream you accept, they come with their resources. It is not your resource they need. It is not. It is not. If you would accept this mindset that all the resources your goal need have already been provided for, you can do anything. That is why the Bible says, if thou canst believe, all things are possible for him that believes. Have you ever thought of it? You eat a mango fruit, and then the pod, you drop on the ground, and then you go away. A year after, you come to the same spot, you have a mango tree. How did the mango tree come out of the pod? Would you have looked at the pod and seen the tree? That pod is your dream. If you would accept it, the tree that is in that dream, in that pod, would manifest itself through you. Your dream is looking for a body to host it. Would you accept it? Have you not had experiences when some thoughts come to you and you say, no, I can't do it, I can't do it, I can't do it. And after like 6 months, you see somebody else doing it and succeeding in it. Has it happened to you before? And you're like, I had that thought too. It looked for you. You said no, it looked for somebody else. In fact, from my study, I have discovered that when thoughts like that come, they don't come to one person. They come to different people, right? It is the person who accepts them, they stay with. Right? So guys, when thoughts come to you, that is my message for you tonight, right? It is not because you thought it. It is because they deemed you as a worthy host to come into your life. When God wants to change the trajectory of your life, what He does is to give you a thought, a dream, a vision. Because it is in the process of realizing that your stories would change, right? There is a second part to this where we actually now look at how you take you take meditation to access the spirit realm, right? But because of time, I can't get into it. But if you would work with this, if you would only pay respect and acknowledge those thoughts, if you would only peer into the spirit realm by focusing on those thoughts, just focus on them. How would it be when these things come? So every time you go into meditation, you're not just going there to calm your mind, you're going there to download. And every time you meditate, you shouldn't ever rise up the way you sat. The person who sat in to meditate is not the same person who stands up from meditation. Why? Because in the process of meditation, your frequency changes. In the process of meditation, your energy changes. In the process of meditation, you change things about you that changes that changes the alignment of the cosmos around you. Right? I want to ask you a question. How do I put this? Have you ever achieved anything when you were angry? When you were moody? When you were dissatisfied? When you were fearful? When you were in deep unforgiveness? Have you ever achieved any remarkable thing? Has there been any time you had a goal that you were pursuing, but then you were always angry? You're always shouting on people? You're always, when people hurt you, it takes you forever to forgive? You're always fearful, you're always doubtful. Have you ever achieved anything in those states? No. 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 You know the reason? Those feelings, right, are created by some emotions. Those emotions cause your body to be heavy. They cause your body to be heavy like lead, right? And what they do is, because every emotion and every feeling has a frequency, right? Every negative emotion and negative feeling is at the lower spectrum emotional frequency range. So you have fear, anxiety, doubt at the lower stops, right? When you achieve a goal, you are joyful, right? When you achieve a goal, you are happy. When you achieve a goal, you feel strengthened. When you achieve a goal, you feel elevated. What happens to you? You become happier, right? More at peace, more joyful. Positive feelings, they have higher energies and they are lighter. So you discover that when you are moody, when you're anxious, you feel heavy. Even to do things become difficult for you. When you're with these negative emotions, you are more attuned with sitting down and not doing anything. But when you are with the lighter emotions, the more positive, you are freer, you are lighter. Guess what? The thoughts that you need to download to achieve your dreams, and they operate at the higher frequencies. When you are at the lower frequency of negative emotions, there is no way you can download them. You can never. So they are there, but you can't download them. Why? Because your energy frequencies don't match their energy frequencies. But when you sit down to meditate, check what happens. When you begin to meditate on the realities of what you want, the realities of them happening, when you begin to meditate on seeing yourself really achieve this thing, the joy it produces, there is a change in your energy. There is a change in your energy. Your energy moves from low, medium to higher energy levels. At that energy, higher energy levels, you can match the frequency of your goal. Once you match the frequency of your goal, you are ready to download the details about that goal. It is at that point that meditation becomes a plus to you achieving the goals you need to achieve, because then you can download. So clarity is important. Quietening the mind is important, but they are offshoots of the main thing. If you've read this book, Think and Grow Rich, there is a story there, if you could remember, of a man who sits down for ideas. There is a man, Napoleon Hill talked about, who companies pay him, they will tell him what they want to produce. This man will sit down to download the steps. Why? Because he understood the power of changing your energies, changing your frequency. We need to get to the point where every day you are working at elevated frequencies. You need to get to a level where meditation is not only when you sit down and you meditate. You need to get to a level where each moment of the day you are meditating. You are at that elevated frequency, because the truth is you don't know when the download will occur. You don't control it. You can be about to read a book. Boom. You can be in the showers. Boom. That is why, as a manifestor, you must never go around without a biro and a paper. Because the idea can... You must have a paper, a pad, and a biro. Because the thoughts will come to you in the dream. As you wake up, trap them. As a manifestor or manifestator, the last things you should think about are the things you want to produce in your life. Not the things you don't want. The things you want to produce. You should sleep with the feelings of having achieved them. Why? Because when you do that, you are going into the alpha, the theta mode of your sleep realm. In that frequency, you will download stuff, man. The ancients knew this. Oh, that is why they pray in the night. Oh, you think it was just intellectual ability that made Daniel know that it was in the night he should pray? No. No. It changed his frequency to the frequency that matched the king's request. God had to go and show him the dream. How you know the dream of a man when the man himself does not even remember the dream? But there's a power in meditation. There is a power in meditation. There's a power, and that power is locked in changing your frequency levels. So if you have been meditating and you stand up the way you went into meditation, no, you've not been meditating. You can't stand up the same way you sat down. The frequency change is the access to the spiritual realm. The spiritual realm deals with feelings. The spiritual realm deals with feelings. The spiritual realm deals with feelings. Go and listen to any teacher of manifestation, from Napoleon Hill to James Dyer, to just name them, Bob Proctor, to even the Mind Valley guy. They don't joke with feelings. Feelings is the currency of manifestation. You cannot say you want to manifest and be living in anger. You can't say you want to manifest your dreams and you'll be living in unforgiveness. You can't say you want to manifest your dreams and you're living in anxiety. Oh, you would repel the ideas coming. You need to move into elevated frequency. So when you sit down to meditate, you are sitting down to change your energy feelings so that you can tap and match the frequency of the dream you are having, and you can down low. Have I blessed you guys, you ladies?
Yes, so
Words cannot even describe.
I'm sure my people are in shock.
I
Shey would have lost
my body
would have
is
lost 7
shaking.
to 10 if we had known. Would
My
have...
body is shaking. I think CEO said she had a question. CEO.
And I think Ibukun as well.
Okay, Ibukun as
Thank
well.
you so much. Thank you. Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Good evening,
Good
sir.
evening. Good evening.
My goodness, I joined a bit late because I had some visitors, but wow. As in, Shadi, I hope you recorded this. This is something we need to listen and listen and listen over again. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. So I had 2 questions actually. I think one of the questions you have answered it, because I've been trying to get into the whole meditating, and I realize many times when I try to do it, I get distracted. Sometimes I'm like, okay, so when meditating, what am I really supposed to do? Am I supposed to just be in a quiet place and be thinking? But I see that you say, make sure you always have your pen and paper with you. So I think in one way that kind of answers that question for me. And meaning that when you are in that space, you would always get thoughts, you would always get revelations. And as the thoughts are dropping, make sure that you are noting them down. And then that leads me to my second question. Now, I do agree and I understand everything you've said about, yes, we are not the ones that thought those things. God is actually the one dropping it in us. It's the one giving us those thoughts. Now, one of the things I know I usually struggle with, and I get some fantastic ideas. Sometimes I sit down and those ideas come to me and then I note it down. But when it now comes to executing, that's where sometimes is a struggle, because I keep saying, so then how do we bring this to fruition? And I think that's where I need your experience on, because sometimes you have these great ideas that come. Then how do you now take the next step? And then the step after that until it comes into fruition? How do you now move into from that point of God dropping the ideas to execution? So that's my question. Thank you once again.
Thank you very much. So let me answer the first one about distraction. Now, we have all been raised to cultivate a distracted mind. Our minds are naturally in a distracted mode. If you're not thinking about your food, you're thinking about your daughter. You're not thinking about your daughter, you're thinking about your husband. You're not thinking about your husband, you're thinking about your boss. You're not thinking about your boss, you're thinking about your car. You're not thinking about your car, you're thinking about your mom. You're not thinking about your mom, you're thinking about even things that have not happened. So the way we've been raised, right, has helped us to have a monkey mind, a chatty mind, right? What meditation does is to help you tune down the volume of that noise, because you would never access the realities of the spirit realm with the chatty mind. Now, when you are meditating, you are not thinking. Thinking is the function of the conscious mind. Meditation is in the office, let me just put it in the office of the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind does not think. Now, the reason why most of us do not meditate well is that we just go into meditation. There needs to be a whole lot of process before you begin to meditate. Now, what are the processes that you need to have gone through before you sit down to meditate? What is your goal? What is your desire? What do you want to achieve? You need to first consciously think it through. Who benefits? You need to bring yourself to the point where you are seeing the reality of that. So if you are desiring to own a school, for instance, it's not the moment you just have that idea, you begin to meditate. No. You accept the thoughts. How does it feel like when I own a school? Who would be in the school? How would a day be like when I'm running the school? What would the uniform be like? You would articulate all those things. The reason is this. Your subconscious mind, right, works with feelings, images, feelings, and images, right? So you will sit down and then you will be writing. This school maybe has 1,000 or 100 students. This is their uniform, right? We're in the assembly hall. I'm seeing the students, right? I'm seeing the teachers. I'm seeing the assembly hall. I'm seeing their classrooms. You are pictorially creating the reality in your mind. You are doing this consciously. And it could take you time. The reason you need to do this is because when you get to meditation, you're going to feed this to meditation. Now, when you are doing this, one thing will be happening with you and within you. Your association with that dream, your association with owning and running a school will begin to change. Right? You begin to actually feel as though you are running the school. When you have fully done this, you write it down as though it has been done. Now I am in my school. I don't even give it a name. I give it my state where you want it to be. And I'm seeing the children run around. I'm seeing them at the debating club. They've gone for swimming. They've done this. You would use your senses to create the pictures. When you create the pictures, they will change the feeling you have. Now, when you get into meditation, what you'll be doing is to feast on the things you have created. So it might be good for you that after you have scripted it, you record it. And then in meditation, you are playing it to yourself. So in meditation, you are not thinking, right? You are seeing and feeling. Meditation is not about thinking. Meditation is about seeing and feeling. Seeing and feeling. Seeing and feeling. What you see would influence what you feel. Right? There's also a dimension of affirmations. You are saying it to yourself. Right? So you can get into the meditation zone saying it. But then if you have recorded it, awesome. So you are saying it and it's raising your vibrations by changing your feelings. Right? And then you're doing that. You might have to do it for a long. It doesn't mean that one day that you meditate, you would. if you read about the people who have gained so much from meditation, it became their lifestyle. It became their, because you can't say that after 60 days of meditation, the download will come. No. The assurance is the download will come if you continue. The key is your feeling. Meditation is the tool by which you change your relationship with the goal, with the desire, with the dream, right? So in meditation, you are working with the pictures, and the pictures changes your feeling. So every time you sit down to meditate, when you stand up, you have an elevated frequency. You are, see, you would come out with the feeling as though that thing has been achieved. When you do it consistently, the steps you will take will begin to drop for you. You might just, and it doesn't also mean that it is when you're meditating that the thoughts will drop. You might be in a meeting and somebody will say something. To others, it doesn't mean anything, but to you, it means something. And then you act. Now, also in meditation, and I want you to hear this. Go listen to any master of meditation. If you listen to them very well, a point would come when you are listening to their script, they would say something about opening up yourself to the spirit, or let the spirits come in, right? That is the point of download. So meditation actually opens a portal by which there's a spirit, or the spirit for that goal comes in. And when that spirit comes in, the spirit comes with the spirit. Let me put it this way. The spirit comes in with the faith for that thing. When the spirit incubates on you, you will just see that you believe that this thing can be done. Have you seen people who, they have a dream? Nobody knows how it will be achieved, but they keep saying, I know it is done. I know it is done. I just know. How did they know? They've communed with spirits. They've communed with the spirit of the goal. And that is what meditation does for you. How did Phil Knight know? How did Steve Jobs know? They didn't know the next step to take, but they just knew. And because they knew, the next step came to them. Now, there are times you could be reading a book and you see something there. Is your next step. There are times you might be with your coach and you're discussing on it. And then as it takes you through the journey, you just know this is what I need to do. The steps will show themselves to you. At times, it is when you sit down and you are thinking about it, a thought you've never had before. Boom. Boom. Why? There's an entrance of the spirit. The moment the spirit enters into you, faith is imparted, because faith is not physical. Faith is spiritual. When the spirit enters into you, faith is imparted. And that happens in meditation. You just know. At times people will be asking you, how do you know? You can't explain it. You can't put it in words. It's not intellectual. I just know. I don't know I know, but I just know. I just know. I was talking with one of my clients. The daughter had to go for a surgery, and the amount for the surgery was way off the chart for them. And she said one thing. She said, Coach, after I prayed, and then she didn't even know about meditation, but when she described what she did, you knew she was meditating. That she just began to think of the child being ill and everything. She said, at a point, she just knew. I said, how did you know? She said, I can't tell you how I knew, but I just knew. Guess what? She got the assurance. Yeah, that's the word. The assurance that this thing is done. 2 days later, the husband called in from called her from his office and asked for some details. And then she sent it to the husband. Then when the husband came back home, she said, why did you ask for the details? Listen to this. The husband said, we were just having lunch at the canteen. Now, the husband is like me, he's an introvert, doesn't talk. But he said, I just felt like I should talk about my daughter's issue with my colleagues. And then one of them said, don't you know that you are entitled to this? And he said, no, he didn't know. He said, you are entitled to it. Get this. So he called the wife, got those things. A week after, not only did they get the money for the surgery, they got plane tickets, they got hotel bills paid. She said, the 3 months she spent in the US, right? The husband's company paid for it. What happened? The moment the assurance hit, the step followed. You might not intellectually know the step. Once you get that assurance, the step will locate you. You would not, and this is one thing many of us do wrongly. We prefer, or we have a preferred way by which we want to do the things we want to do. Stop it. Stop it. Stop. You're like, it has to happen this way. No. Nope. You will not dictate to God how he would run his show. Open your mind. Open yourself. The portals, the steps will come to you. Did that answer your question? Did that answer your question?
Yes, so she's still writing, I'm sure.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. You did. I was trying to unmute. You did. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Oh my God. I don't even know what to say. Ladies, you can unmute. Just feedback. Let's appreciate it, because I don't even know. I'm short of words. I was just about to type that. At so many points, I felt like bursting into tears of joy. You don't understand. Like, I wanted to just start wailing. I don't know if I'm the only one feeling that way.
No, because we can relate. Thank you so much, sir. We can relate.
Thank you. I mean, we hope to have another encounter with you.
We'll be sharing our testimonies on manifestation.
Yes, definitely.
So that you can also use us as testimonies in your next session.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Thank you so much for giving us your time.
Thank you so much.
We do not take it for granted at all. Thank you.
At all.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Are you from Ondo?
No, I'm from Osun State.
Okay.
It's my town.
She has claimed.
All right, sisters.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. God bless you.
Thank
God
you.
bless
It's
you.
made us
God bless
look at
you.
life in a different way, to be honest.
Yes, honestly.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Never give up on your dreams.
No.
You didn't think them. They sought you. And they have come to you with all the resources that they need to manifest.
Yeah.
Accept them.
Yeah.
Play with them. Host them.
Yeah.
Elevate your frequencies to their frequency.
Yeah.
And how do you know the frequency of a dream, of a desire? How would you feel when that dream or desire is achieved? That feeling you would have when that desire is achieved is that goal's frequency. Once you match that frequency, you will download. So your response, and this is where rest comes in. This is what the Bible talks about, rest. This is where, see, it is not by hard work. The work itself is changing your frequency. The work itself is looking at all the odds that you have had because you failed at goals before or at dreams, being able to put that aside and embody a new feeling that this goal has been realized, that is where the work is. Such that your body changes. Even your cells know you have changed. When you get to that point, nothing on earth can stop you from accessing every required resource, be it material, be it financial, be it spiritual, be it human. Nothing on earth can stop you from manifesting that. The work is changing your frequencies. God bless you. God bless you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Yomi.
Thank you.
so
Thank
much.
you. Thank you.
Very much, sir.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
Wow.
Wow. Guys, my head wants to blow.
Honestly,
Time I said I've been meditating. I've not been meditating. No.
No, you know,
But
the
you
day
know
you had
the
that session, I
interesting-
had to call Sade that joy, you know, this
Yes.
one we have to invite him.
You know, there are so many
Eh?
things here. I was just connecting dots. So remember, there's something in Yala, and tomorrow work starts, sisters. If you haven't read your One Day My Soul Just Opened Up, download it. The book is there. I'll post it again so that we can get to work. You know, the part there where she was saying meditation, she suggests that you pray before meditation. If you have read it, I don't know if anybody remembers that part. That you have to
exactly.
pray.
Yes,
Exactly,
yes,
She
yes.
advises that
That's
you
true.
pray before meditation. You don't just go into meditation because you are seeking something. So you go there with a heart ready to receive.
Receive, yeah.
So yeah, so I think that's one of the things that I connected when he was saying that. I'm like, yes, true. That's what
Exactly. I picked that too.
yes. So I mean, there's a lot of work to be done. We are moving to next levels. We've said it that this year is the year of time. And this thought seek you out is looking for you. You are not the one
Yeah.
looking for it. The thoughts will seek you out. You know, so
Yes.
Yeah, even as in somehow I came to that conclusion too. That
yes.
your thoughts actually they are not they are these strong thoughts. You just know that this is not you ordinarily. And you know that's the part of the Bible that says it is him that worketh in us to will and
And
to
to, yeah, and
do.
for his good pleasure, yes.
The day
yes,
that
yes.
scripture became life to me was the day I realized that even those desires, that to will is your desires. So to now do it, it is still the same spirit that will make it. The day I got a revelation of that, I stopped struggling. The moment I catch that, also, in fact, this is new dimension, higher dimension. That's
Honestly,
what I
higher
Yes,
dimension.
so that's the
Look
word.
at the last
Higher
part where
dimension,
it said,
exactly.
sometimes don't go there thinking you want to tell God how you want it to be done.
exactly.
It's not your business. Get out of the way. Let him do it.
Exactly.
Pain me, I missed. I
I
didn't start from the beginning.
I
Didn't
don't
pain
worry.
me.
I
I thought
recorded the
it.
session.
You
I
record and
recorded it.
send to you.
Yes, once I end it, I will try and edit and upload. All right, sisters, if you can turn on your
Okay, then.
cameras, let's take a group picture.
My camera is
If you
bad
are
like
able
this.
to, if you are able to.
Mine is okay,
So
but
I
my
can see
dressing.
somebody shining with her red hair. With her red hair. Shout out to Kemi. Kemi Abiola and I went to school together. She saw the flyer and she said, Shade sent to me, I must join. So hi, Kemi. Welcome. Thank you.
Good evening, Shade.
Hi, sis. How are you? I hope you enjoyed the session.
Okay, I think
Good evening. Good evening, everybody. Nice.
Good
to
evening.
meet you guys.
Nice to have you
Yeah.
here.
Who will help us take the picture? Is it Modupe? Modupe, can you help us take the picture? Because you know me, I'm using a laptop. I can't. Are we ready?
How do you do the pictures? Cheese.
Just put on your camera so that we can see your face. If you are in a place that, if you are wearing clothes.
Wearing.
Modupe, let us know when you have taken the picture. We are
I
here
am not
posing.
in the other room.
Me, my own.
Have you taken it?
I just did a screenshot. No.
Okay, thank you. Bye, everybody.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right, bye. Good night.
Bye.
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 Bye.